all know that practice is a crucial step to learning any skill. To improve at anything, we must dedicate time, effort, and focus to learning it. But as adults, we have a lot of responsibilities on our plate, and it can be hard to squeeze practice time in. That's where creating a practice habit comes in. Why create a practice habit? When we incorporate practice into our daily routines, it takes up less mental effort and energy. Then it is much more likely we will take the time to practice and have success at learning our chosen instrument or voice. We call it the cycle of success. When you practice consistently, you grow and make progress. That progress is exciting to experience. It increases your enjoyment in playing and motivation to continue practicing, which will again help you make more progress. How do I establish a practice habit? Like other habits, exercising consistently, healthy eating habits, etc., good habits make our lives better, but often require a period of more concentrated effort in order to establish the habit. After that point, it becomes part of the routine and is easier to accomplish. And of course, that's when you see all the great benefits. For music, it can be finally playing the song you always wanted to play, the stress relief playing music brings you, and much more. You certainly can use strategies that have worked for you in the past to build good habits. We also have some suggestions on what has worked well for us that we would love to share with you. Number 1, create a distraction-free space for practicing. As best you can, try to create a quiet, distraction-free space to practice in. A separate space away from the busyness of the household is ideal. But if that isn't possible, you can also try to plan a time to practice when there's less going on around your practice space. We also highly recommend that you put away any phones or other devices that might interrupt your focus. Number 2, plan it. Plan out when you will practice. A task that is relegated to when I get to it almost always doesn't get done. But a task that is planned on the schedule has much more chance of being accomplished. Try to make sure your chosen time is not when you're too tired or distracted. Write it down somewhere you can see it and be reminded. Don't forget to plan at least one practice in the first 24 hours after your lesson. Studies show this hugely improves what you remember from the lesson. Number 3, record it. Just checking off that you spent time practicing gives a feeling of accomplishment. Have you ever written items on your to-do list just so you could cross them off? Your lesson assignment sheet has a space on it where you can check off each day you practiced and even record the amount of time if desired. It also helps you remember how much you've already done that week, so you can plan an extra practice time to get to your goals or give yourself a day off if you see you have already worked hard this week. We don't require this for adult students, but if you find it helpful to you, then do it. Number 4, system of accountability. Try setting up a logical consequence or reward that keeps you accountable for putting aside time to play. This can be, I won't get on the phone until after practicing, or it could be a friend who's cheering you on and who checks in with you occasionally on how your practice goals are going. Number 5, start small. Don't expect perfection on day 1. Perhaps start with 3 practice times the first week, or only half the amount of practice time you would like to work up to. Gradually increase until you're at your goal time. Try to stay as consistent as you can, but if one week goes badly, don't sweat it. Just start fresh the next week. Remember, it takes just over 2 months to form a new habit. Number 6, enjoy the music. Remember that you are doing this to increase your quality of life. Don't make it into a chore. Enjoy all the little things you can. It can be hard as an adult to go back to being a beginner. If you're starting from scratch learning an instrument, good for you. Give yourself space and time to learn and enjoy the process along the way. These are just some ideas to get you started. Remember, everyone is different, and different strategies for establishing a habit might work better for you. Keep experimenting and find what works for you. And please talk with us about anything you're struggling with. We are here to walk with you every step of the way on your musical journey. Happy practicing!